Hi, welcome to episode 50 of Thought Bubbles, Sparkling Insights into Community Engagement. Today I want to ask the question, how do we know when we're winning with community engagement or public consultation? Before I go any further, I'll put the little disclaimer in here that this Thought Bubbles, as any of my Thought Bubbles, is prompted by something that's happened to me in real life. So I often start working with a client by setting the goal that the work that we're about to do needs to be award-winning. This is quite a fun way of saying to them that we need to set the bar really high in what we're about to plan and deliver. This particular example being that myself and a client nominated for an award. And in the space of public consultation, I think it's really good to aim to be award-winning because it pushes your boundaries in a different direction, perhaps beyond what you'd normally do as you just bog standard public consultation. And who doesn't love winning an award, right? That myself and my client were nominated for an award earlier this year. It was a statewide piece of work that we'd undertaken. We were really, really proud of the work that we'd done. It was a piece of work that had the key stakeholders in it noting what a brilliant piece of engagement it was that had occurred. Now this is brilliant and music to my ears as somebody that works in the public engagement space, to hear people who'd been involved in that process say, yep, we really did feel heard in that process and we felt what you reported on was brilliant. And for me, what was one of the highlights of this particular process was the minister that I've been working with taking the engagement to Parliament and members of the opposition in Parliament complimenting the process that we'd undertaken to consult and engage with the key stakeholders. So we, as you can imagine, were feeling really, really proud of this process, and we really felt that it was a piece of engagement that had been, in all meanings of the word, genuine, as providing an opportunity to have input heard from key stakeholders. So we found out last week that, in our own humble opinions, our award-winning, worthy, robust, thorough, comprehensive, highly complimented piece of engagement hadn't been shortlisted for an award. And we were a bit devastated, if I'm honest, because of course we were living in our little bubble that we thought this was just a fantastic piece of work. So this of course came as a shock, and it hit me both personally and professionally. And of course when things hit you personally and professionally, you put a lot of time into thinking about it all and reflecting on it. Rejection is never nice, but what makes it worse is when you suddenly question in your head whether you actually are worthy of an award and whether the piece of work that you delivered it was as good as you thought it was. It's a horrible thing to go through. And so this all got me thinking, how do you know when you're winning with public consultation and community engagement? Or in other words, what's your biggest measure of success as far as public consultation goes? How do you measure what you did as a public consultation or community engagement practitioner? And more importantly, how do you measure that impact that you had during that process? Now look, when you're evaluating community engagement, you can be evaluating your process. You can be thinking about the process that you took. Did you involve the right people? How many people did you involve? How many bums on seats did you get at the public meetings that you held? How many hits did you get on your website? How many responses did you have to surveys? Blah, blah, blah. None of that particularly excites me. That's not measuring your success of good community engagement. You can measure your outcomes. Your outcomes are things like the people who participated in your process feel like they were heard. People know and understand how their input had an impact on the final decision that was made. You might say that relationships have strengthened as a result of the engagement process. And so on, considering all of that, I think that really to know that you're winning in public consultation and community engagement, you only know you're winning when the people who've been involved in that process tell you that you're winning. You can have all the fancy processes, all the fancy tools and techniques you like, but unless you've got the public or whoever the key stakeholders are that you're involving in your process, as long as you've got them on board and on your journey, and you've got them at the end of it saying that was a really good process, then in my opinion, you're winning. And so my lesson here through this process has been that rejection is a feeling I really don't like. Our work in community engagement mustn't focus on the shiny awards. As a sector, we need to be earthier. We need to be grittier than this. And finally, the thought I had is what I'd like to see more of is people-led awards. Because, okay, we can have all the awards we like on our shelves. I got a few behind me. But unless the people who were involved in these processes are saying that they felt that process was worth it, we're not winning. Until next time.